السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد نبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And welcome all of you with your program Fatwa Live that comes to you on Monday, the 17th of November from Houston, Texas. The first question, a friend of mine, she got married with only her clothes. No dowry. Now she's gonna be divorced. What rights does she have? The answer, my sister, the one that did not have the dowry pronounced and she already had intercourse, she deserved the equal in dowry. You look at people of her from her family and how much their dowry, and that's what is obligated on her for on the husband to pay for her. Just for not mention, just mentioning the dowry does not void the contract, but it will leave it for the judge to make it on the equal dowry on somebody of her. If he did not have intercourse with her or he was not isolated with her, then she gets uh, the money that she deserves after the divorce, which is like a gift that is to as Allah Azza wa Jal obligated it is, so it will make up for her broken heart. And sometimes it goes up to 2 years of expenditure. And also there's some other rights that is obligated by Sharia. The deferred dowry, the expenditure, her custody of the kids, and the mut'a, which is a given that is given to the woman who is divorced to uh, to make up for her broken heart. And as in Azhar University, they measured it up to 2 years and could go up to 5 or more. There is no limit on that. It all depends on what is the capability of the husband, and also the right of what she have provided into his wealth, if she have provided any effort to grow his wealth, whether it's work or in promotion or any of that. And these rights, uh, the referred, the returned divorce, that does not take the woman from her husband's right. She get the expenditure and to live in her house, and the husband cannot take her out. She cannot leave her house unless she comes with an adultery or for an emergency that she's required to leave. And the divorce, they have the return of the dowry and a muta that is measured by the judge, as we have mentioned before. As we have mentioned it is some depends on the capability of the husband and the duration of the marriage, and also what is the uh, responsibility on whom caused the divorce. Again, if the woman shared with her husband in any of his investment or in building his wealth in a professional matter, then she get also she get a share of what he have participated in these investment, and goes to the expert to decide what is that amount. And it's always better that they will come to an agreement, and they have to make it easy on what are the conditions that they could do in the beginning, and they could use what will not cause any separation between them. And again, when we're talking about the share of the woman in the wealth of her husband, depends on what she participated in building that. If she didn't, she don't. So if she shared with his investment or in management in a professional manner, not just she's there, then she deserve a share. And depends on what her share, what effort she did, and you go back to the expert in that work to decide what is that amount. So this is the rights of the divorcee. And by the way, that right of the wealth, it goes both ways, and it goes to every relative that participated in that. What is important to remember that that right, the wife does not deserve it just because she is taking care of her husband's house chores and his household, because that's her right, is what is required, so she could deserve the expenditure and to live. What is meant is the professional in in his work. This is the one that requires, that is looking at his wealth. Some conditions, certain times, it's again the expert in that work is the one who decide what is that amount. Another question, the following question: I bought a house through UIF. I paid the down payment when I paid, and the interest at that time was 7.5% for 30 years. Now it's lowered to 6%. I'm looking to refinance with the same company to lower the payment. Can I do that in a Islamic by refinance in this condition? The answer: the Amjad have a decision about refunds. To refinance, as far as halal and haram, it is just a finance income. If the Muslim had bought a house by riba, and then he contracted with a new company with an Islamic contract that is full with the conditions from the testimony of the trusted, then that is allowed. But if you wanted to refinance with a riba, then it is forbidden with a riba, unless it is to lower the riba that he cannot avoid at this time, whether it is with same company or different, because the Sharia is to lower the harm and to stop it. So if you bought the house with an Islamic finance, then he can refinance, but has to be with an Islamic company, not with non-Islamic company. Follow question: is the zakah on the insurance, life insurance in the West, where you put money for 20 years and you take it multiplication whenever you need it, whenever you any money that you gather and you keep, that you have lived with your choice, and insurance that's going to bring you profits, and delay taking those payments, so it will give you an independent income whenever you get old. That is money that you have to pay the zakah on it, because you have to have the minimum of that amount, and it will go over a year, and you have the authority, that you have the capability to own that money and to benefit from it. The money that you cannot hold is not a money that you pay zakah on. The dowries that are deferred are not money that you pay zakah, because the woman cannot have it, because she cannot get it except with death or divorce, with which one comes first. And the final question: what about elections in the West, especially Congress, to serve the Muslim communities? About a month ago, the Amjad, they had a conference about the political work in the West, and they summarize it as this specific one, that to work politically from the political shara, that you need to understand that it goes into the balance between bringing the best of interest, and the fatwa is different because the place and the time. On the West in general, the interest of the communities, either to bring the what is good or to produce the evil, whatever you can, to bring the best of a good and to reduce the evil, that is required. That is good. Final question: what are the measures about the lobbies that that is required to accept the laws for and it has to do with your elections and taxes and public debt for the your voice. It is a trust that you have to always look at it, so you have to look at what you are voting for. Now, the question about the investment and the contracts for merchants, that you have to count the amount at this time. You look at the cash that you have and the loans that you expect to get and the debts that you have to pay, and it has to be short, not long term like houses for 30. Then you take it out of the money and then you pay the zakah on the rest. If it is the minimum, which is 85 grams of gold more, and it has more than 1 year. If there's zakah on the stock market, and it varies, every year. The zakah on the shares, the meaning this is a share from the principal, and you pay, you make the zakah just like the contract. On contract, it depends whether there's loss or profit. But for the shares, you have to pay the money that is. You don't look into the things that are fixed. You look at the things that are grows. So you look at that part that increase from the share that is considered growing profit. This is what you have to pay this. The rest that is fixed, you don't pay the zakah. In general, we had mentioned that the money that is the ratio is 1/3 of the value of that share. Wallahu alam. Because that is the part that is really growing, that bring you profit. But you have to verify because every company is different. In United States, all these companies, there's a Islamic company that will lead you and they will give you good advice, inshallah, in that matter. We come to the end. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت